I just can't believe the tragic shooting at the Sandy Hook Elementary School. We definitely need to ban all assault rifles so that these events do not keep happening. I support Senator Feinstein's legislation to ban these rifles. Something has to be done, and fast.
I agree that this was a tragic event, and that things must be done to protect the children. But how would the semi-automatic gun ban protect the children?
It would reduce these numbers of evil assault rifles in people's hands and would prevent these types of shootings.
But how would it prevent criminals from using guns in gun-free zones?
Well, the legislation is intended to reduce the amount of gun violence in the country. You sound heartless. Don't you want to protect the children?
Yes. I want to protect the children. How about allowing teachers with concealed carry permits to have guns in schools? This would serve as a deterrent for deranged criminals and would protect the children. It would let the criminals know that schools are not defenseless targets. The policy works in Israel.
Oh no. The last thing we need is more guns. Guns caused the killing of these children, and we would have massive gun violence all over the place if more guns were allowed. You must be a crazy NRA member who wants to live in the Wild West where guns kill people. Guns make people violent.
The same argument was used when concealed carry laws were implemented, and no such violence ever occurred between legal concealed carry permit holders. Instead, studies show that communities with more guns suffer from less gun crime. Guns do not make people violent. There are millions of law-abiding families that have had guns for centuries and who are peaceful. It is the individual. The gun crime rate in Chicago is spiraling out of control, where the most stringent gun control exists. So you would still want to keep schools gun-free zones and the children vulnerable?
Yes. The schools should be gun-free. Then they will be safe. Adam Lanza used an assault rifle.
But your argument doesn't make any sense. First of all, it isn't an assault rifle. It is a semi-automatic rifle. The media uses the word assault rifle to demonize guns in order to scare people so they can enact their gun control agenda. The Sandy Hook Elementary School was a gun-free zone. The Columbine shooters also had semi-automatic rifles, right in the middle of the 1994 semi-automatic rifle ban. This gun control measure has previously been proven not to make schools safer or deter crime.
But the new gun legislation would tighten regulations and would reduce the numbers of scary assault rifles.
No. The criminals would still have access to all these rifles and guns that you speak of. They obtained them from the black market. Laws are incapable of controlling the criminal element and the black market. How would the gun control legislation prevent criminals from using guns? Laws are already in place that were created to try to prevent criminals from buying guns. They do not work. This legislation is reckless and un-American.
Well, something must be done quickly. Children died, so we need to pass this law so we can say we did something.
But isn't forcing a law quickly through without assessing its impact irresponsible?
No. The guns are the problem. We need to reduce the amount of people who have guns.
But that is an irrational desire. Our southern border is open. Guns are smuggled all over the world on the black market between criminals. The only thing the gun control laws will do would be to restrict the law-abiding citizen from defending himself and would drastically expand the black market. Your gun control laws would make communities less safe.
Well, I think we just need to quickly take measures to restrict the number of rounds that gun magazines could hold.
But that would only leave the criminals with the high-capacity magazines, and would leave law-abiding citizens defenseless.
You would still be able to defend yourself with a gun, just not more than 10 rounds.
But what if I miss?
Well, if you can't hit a criminal with 10 rounds, then you don't deserve to have a gun.
Who says?
I do, in the Democrats. They know what's best for you. I think it is more than reasonable and people shouldn't be allowed to make their own decisions.
Oh, I see. But what if there are two criminals, and they each have high-capacity magazines?
That's rarely likely to happen.
But it happens all over the world, all the time.
You are more likely to win the lottery than have criminals attack you with guns. Why are you being paranoid? What's there to worry about? You should focus on something else like global warming or carbon emissions instead of worrying about gun crime.
It seems like you are in denial that bad things can happen. What if the government decides that I can't have a gun with more than 5 rounds, or 1 round to defend myself? So you would seek to forfeit my right to defend my family because you don't like guns?
The government would never do that. You are overly paranoid. Yes, I would if that means reducing the amount of guns for the greater good. The NRA and guns are the problem. The government always does what's best for us.
No, guns must be an option available. It is enshrined in the Constitution and is a natural right of man. Making preparations to defend your family is not being paranoid. It's called being responsible and prepared. You are being irresponsible and your policies disarm the common citizen.
I think the Constitution is too outdated and that we should eliminate the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment only pertained to single-shot muskets, not evil assault rifles that could kill many people.
No, it did not. The Second Amendment never specified what type of gun was sanctioned. It was meant for the people to be able to possess the current firearms technology of their time. During the writing of the Constitution, muskets were the most advanced weaponry invented. The provision is there to ensure that future governments did not start oppressing the American people.
But that would never happen. You must be a paranoid conspiracy theorist.
There are multiple instances in history of governments confiscating firearms before enacting policies that terrorize the civilian population. Why would you assume this could never happen here?
Well, because it just wouldn't. That is just a ridiculous thought full of paranoia. You are crazy.
Tell that to the Soviet citizens under Stalin, the Jews in Germany under Hitler, the Khmer Rouge under Pol Pot, Chinese citizens under Mao Zedong and modern times, Cuban citizens under Fidel Castro, Venezuelan citizens under Hugo Chavez. These dictators enacted gun control and then terrorized and oppressed their populaces.
Well, that is just history. This is America.
You are extremely naive and irrational to think this way. You clearly suffer from normalcy bias and need education.
I don't care. We just need more laws that would cut down on scary assault rifles that are a threat to society. Once Feinstein's legislation is passed, then all the guns will magically go away and our children will be safe. You clearly hate children with your crazy evil guns. Children hater.
No, I am a responsible steward of our freedoms. You are an uneducated nutcase incapable of rational thought. The semi-automatic rifles you speak of only account for less than 2% of gun crimes and banning them would not make anyone safer. The gun ban legislation would only work to erode our constitutional rights. Why can't you realize this?
I am a liberal. I am scared of guns. Guns kill people, so we need laws that further restrict us and that magically take the guns away. Then violence will decrease and there will be no more scary evil guns. Then everyone will sing nursery rhymes together in a circle and clouds will turn into cotton candy. Criminals will suddenly transform into kind and helpful Boy Scouts and bunnies will talk. And we will all be happy. Hey, where's my Obama welfare check?
Oh geez. This is what's wrong with our country. There are too many sheeple brainwashed by the media. Educate yourselves about human nature, guns, and history. The more education people receive, the more able we will be able to take back our country. Always stand on the side of freedom. Keep fighting the good fight and stand strong in the defense of the Second Amendment. Don't tread on me.